starting lineup that lost their opening rubber to Portugal by 10 points to 12. In come Jesse Parahi, Nick Malouf and Greg Gilliudeff with number 5 Wilkin, Fau and Walker dropping to the bench. Two changes for Scotland. Joe Nathavau, the 2nd Battalion Royal Regimental Soldier, replaces Fraser Lyle, and a late change to the lineup for Scotland sees Scott Riddle make way for Niall Godsmart. So perhaps a little bit of a muscle pull for Scott Riddle in the build-up to this particular game. A very important game for Australia, who currently lie in 4th place in the HSBC Sevens World Series table, and the right to become an automatic qualifier for the Olympics. Well, a rotund Japanese-Australian fan on the far end. Alongside me, Scott Hastings. In the commentary box is Willie Leosi. And Willie, I reckon Gary and John needs to really kickstart his troops here in Australia, because Portugal, well, they came out winning that game in the opening time. John was very animated at half-time and gave his troops a real ribbon.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be angry at the fact that valuable points here, they did so well in Hong Kong to get the points that they require to try and qualify for the Olympics, and then to lose their first match here in Tokyo. Very disappointing. How do they respond?
Mark Robertson looks on. The kickoff will be through Cameron Clark. Switching to this near play. Ball palmed back there by Scotland's Lee Jones. Has to go back and cover, but great follow-up work there. And quickness of thought from Colin Foley. And suddenly you see within the attitude of the start for the Australians how much sharper they look, but the throw was not 5 metres.
Well, they want to get on with the game, and on that occasion a technicality of not letting the ball go in the 5 metres. Australia were desperate to try and score first points, and now Scotland just slowing things down.
So it'll be Russell Weir. Colin Gregor runs the angle down on this short side. Gregor decides to just keep the ball, put it down to deck. Weir then. Nathavau, Johnston to... First look out here is Lee Jones. Didn't have a lot of spacing. Scotland, well, they're noted as a passing team, but look at the pressure coming on from this Australian team. But Scotland keep ball in hand. Now Godsmart switches play to Gregor. Gregor, the most experienced player in the squad. Now Robertson starts to open up those long rangy legs, and Mark Robertson up to the halfway line he goes. Covered by Alan Fa'alava, who stayed back in the pocket and covering position. Jones to Gregor. Now Russell Weir. Wide on the outside channel is now Godsmart. Godsmart eventually gets the ball. He's a bit isolated, but Scotland's Colin Gregor gets his support. And a typical Scottish try is scored after 14 passes in that wonderful play from one end of the pitch to the other.
That's why he's the all-time point scorer for the Scottish side. His ability to identify where he needs to be and to pop up at the right time. All of the hard work done earlier on in the build-up of the Australians coming out of the line. On a number of occasions, it was Jesse Parahi who got beaten for gas on a number of occasions. Here's Godsmart. What a good decision to start him. The pop pass up, and the ever-reliable Colin Gregor on hand to go around and score another try to his tally of 84.
Well, that's 1,287 points to Colin Gregor. He's 5th in the all-time scoring record, and he's catching Ben Gollins at the top. Sorry, Sarevi next. I don't think he'll catch Ben Gollins. He is miles ahead. But what an esteemed company that is. Ben Gollins, Tomasi Thama, Willie Mai, and Marceli Sarevi. Some lineup. Remember the name? Colin Gregor. Gregor, who converted his own score. Kicked off now. Nick Malouf, crossfield he goes, finds Jesse Parahi on that far side. Parahi marshalled by the Scotland defence. James Johnson eventually gets hands on the big strapping forward from Australia. Colin Foley to Jenkins. Now, can Jenkins, Australia's skipper, penetrate this Scottish defence up to the 22? Advantage being played by referee Richard Kelly. Fa'alava, he'll go in for the quick tap and go. Alan Fa'alava out. Clever feet. Clinging on is Mark Robertson. Numbers over if they can put it to hand. Johnny Depp spares ball though, and that's the accuracy missing in this Australian team.
That pretty much tells the story of Australia in their opening 2 games here. They had numbers to burn and Jaladev just couldn't control the pass from Clark.
Perhaps wasn't the best delivered pass, and look at the frustration. It would drive you mad being a coach, wouldn't it, Willie?
Fine.
So they put in my Russell Weir, the former Murchison Castle schoolboy in Edinburgh. He comes off the scrum, shows and goes. Chucking down is Jaladev. Now Colin Gregor doesn't have the pace. He'll have to hold off ball. He's got the support. This is Lee Jones. Jones probing. Deep into the Australian 22. Scotland attacking well. Russell Weir. Overlap here for Scotland if they can put it through the hands. This is Mark Robertson. And in goes James Johnson for the second try. And more importantly, closer to the posts.
Great 7th straight from Scotland. Some questioning whether Australia would get the rocket that they needed after the loss to Portugal. They just can't buy a trick. The mistake led to the scrum, and from the scrum, 5 phases later, this is the end of it. Look at the lovely passes right out in front of the man receiving the ball, and all Johnston had to do was step on the left foot and bring it around to improve the position for the conversion.
And the conversion is good from Colin Gregor. And Scotland out to a 14-0 lead. And, well, Australia, they lost their opening time by 12 points to 10. They're on the back end of 14 points in this opening first half here. And Scotland have responded to the 38-0 drubbing that they received in their opening tie against New Zealand.
Well, you can't go missing 6 tackles, and that's what Australia have done in the opening 6 minutes. That's why they trailed by 14.
Well, it was a good take by Niall Godsmart, but he was guilty of holding on to the ball. Hey, Jenkins, can Australia have one last riposte in this first half and open up the Scottish defence? It's good carrying there by Nick Malouf. Recycled possession is Colin Foley. That's the 22-metre line. Clark goes back to deliver ball. Australia now stringing a few passes together. Fa'alava out. It's a missed tackle for Scotland, and Malouf will be in under the post. Australia have clawed one back, and with a conversion to come, they'll have halved Scotland's early lead.
They scored one earlier in the loss to Portugal. And this is just great from Fa'alava. Taking the defence across and just creating that massive gap for the big frame of Nick Malouf to run through. 6'1", 95 Ks, difficult to stop 20 out.
Well, an entertaining game. 3 converted tries, 2 in the favour of Scotland, 1 to Australia. Half-time here in Tokyo. Scotland 14, Australia 7.
Trust that the ball's going to have to go. Secondly, defensively, guard reset is crucial.
Tackle, going to go into contact, keep your feet going, make them tackle, stay on the feet as long as possible, then you place, then take them out, and then you can move the ball. 7D, connection, composure, first of tackle. Come on, half time. Tommy John.
That's a much calmer here in Johns what we saw earlier this afternoon, or this morning outside.
Rugby asked for off the ball, and that's where we're giving ourselves the opportunity. Our challenge now is first up tackles. Reset, first up tackles. They will come up with errors because in the first 2 games they're chasing it now. Let's trust our day.
Let's go, boys. Go again. So the final words obviously going to come in from Scotland's most experienced player, Colin Gregor, and support here in numbers in Tokyo. So Scotland lost last week to the Australians by 5 points to 21, but they did improve in day 3 in Hong Kong, and they ended up winning the bowl final, beating France in a very entertaining game. So Colin Gregor for Scotland will kick off in the blue jerseys, to Australia winning the gold jerseys.
Wow, that was close to me.
I think that was 10 there, Willie?
Looked nigh on 10 as soon as he got it, but New Zealand referee Richard Kelly saw it differently in Australia. Good first opportunity to strike.
So switch play. Better by Australia. Nick Malouf picked the ball up well. Colin Foley runs a good supporting angle. Thumping tackle comes in for Scotland's Niall Godsmark. And Australia starting to find gaps in this Scottish defence. Godsmark in with a tackle on Tom Lucas. First time involved in the game off the bench. Clark to Jaludev. Jaludev well tackled there. And Scotland competing strongly, but James Johnson, well, the ruck had formed, and Johnson was penalised for pinching ball out the back.
It was a ruck situation. He couldn't play the ball, even though he was the tackler originally. I like the formation of Australia, and I like the way that they're using their big players to get them into the game and over the advantage line.
Jesse Parahi, Jenkins looks on Con Foley, puts through a power of work as Parahi takes it back off Con Foley. Oh, but a spin from Con Foley, and suddenly that 14-0 gap that Scotland had has been absolutely collapsed.
45 tries in his career, and he had no right to score this try because there was plenty of defenders there. Party with the offload, and have a look here, Foley, 3 defenders in front of him. Thinks, what do I do? He spins out of the first, twists and pushes out of the second, and then just gasses it to bring his team back into the hunt. Kick to draw even. All tied up.
Yeah, Lucas slots it. Colin Foley, the try scorer, the spin and burl. And that's just exactly what Coach Gurrid John asked for. That's the young Cameron Clark. Looks on. Born in Auckland, his mum is a Kiwi. Well, it's gone over, and Mark Robertson dived on the ball. James Johnson picks up. Johnson took the ball wide, but threw the ball up, and it came off the head of Mark Robertson. And Australia, quick and sharp counter-attack. Nick Malouf, who's impressed. Malouf stretches the defence. Fraser Lyle makes a tackle. That's the 22-metre line. And now it is all, the momentum is with Australia. Jaludev has Parahi, but Parahi, was that a knock-on?
Definitely was. And the passes that were sticking for Scotland in the first half aren't, and Australia's woes and problems continue. Parahi asked to come on the late cut here. He cut, and then he tripped over himself. Slipped, didn't he? I mean, have a look how many errors Australia have had in this game.
Well, we had an early sort of sprinkling of rain that seems to have all cleared. The pitch is certainly a lot drier than it was in the first ties this morning. Well, Shannon Walker and Fau are both on the pitch, so real attacking threat. This guy, Shannon Walker, he can score some crackers. So Australia, they won this tournament 3 years ago. Russell Weir.
Gone early.
Was that a drive early, I think, Willie?
Yeah, it was. They've gone early in the sense that they pushed over the mark, and now Australia with a chance to take the lead for the first time.
So Tom Lucas, ball in hand.
Get the ball into the hands of Walker and co. Introduced into the game nice and early.
Oh, Parahi down the blind side. Well, I felt he should have given that pass. Jenkins was on his outside. It was a 2-on-1, but Scotland have still got some defending to do. Australia piling on the pressure here. Clark, he'll go for the wide pass. This is Shannon Walker. Walker tackled into touch, was he?
Yeah, copybook tackle too, wasn't it? Christine right around the bootlaces. And this man, when he's confident, Shannon Walker, one of the most difficult players to try and bring down.
James Fleming there, accelerating into the tackle. The Dundee Express, they nickname him. Scotland, well, if they're going to go, they're going to have to go the length. So this is Colin Gregor. Christine, kind of sloppy pass there for his winger Fleming. Scotland attack down that short side. This is Russell Weir. Weir tackled by Clark. Shannon Walker also in, just standing at the back of the ruck there. Christine. Well, sloppy pass there. No advantage though from James Fleming, who's cut back there. So plenty of time still in this game for either side to unlock each other's defences. Scotland haven't found touch, so the balance of play goes back into the hands of Australia. This is Lucas to Pamafau. Jenkins, Shannon Walker. Walker goes again. Tackled, throws the ball back, and that's twice the Australian winger has given away possession. Mark Robertson, sloppy pass to Gregor, picked up. We will have to go with him. Scotland just getting a little bit cramped on this near side. They're trying to open up the wider channels, but Weir tackled by Pamafau. Now Robertson, will he back himself? Well, he's been tackled extremely well there by Clark. Advantage being played. Less than a minute on the clock.
He did well initially, and then he lost his footing. If he had retained his body weight, it would have been a perfect turnover, but he didn't. And I like the work from Godsmark as well to throw the ball quickly into the line-out about 40 seconds ago.
Fascinating the way this pool's going to turn out if the score even sticks like this. Portugal have got one win already under their belt. This could be a drawn game. New Zealand have won 2. So we'll all rest in the last ties of the day later on. Colin Gregor, such an experienced head. So Russell Weir with the throw at the line out. Secured by Mark Robertson. Dean, wraparound move is from Gregor, but Pamafau, he read it, tackled his man. Weir seemed to seal off ball there, but here's Fleming. Fleming escapes the clutches of Shannon Walker. This is Colin Gregor. The momentum starting to build. This is Robertson. Does he back himself? Shrugs off the attention of Sam Myers. There's the future. Can Scotland finish off in style? Fleming. This time tackled by Shannon Walker. Big ball retention by the Scotland team as they go wide once again. Australian defence. This is Weir. Weir steps back. Lungs are aching for both teams. Christine straightens, goes down the middle. Can he release ball and recycle? Weir to the left to Colin Gregor. Gregor on the wide channel. Well isolated now. Godsmark still there. Weir gets across. Pulsating stuff this from Scotland. Can they finish off the pressure? Ball released to Weir. Australia's defence is good. Absolutely in the balance here. Mark Robertson to Fleming. Fleming, quick feet tackle by Clark. Robertson has to go over and clear. Colin Gregor, he read it down the blind side. Dean, has he lost his support? Well, advantage being played. Well, will they lose it? Does Scotland take a quick one? Yes, they do. Here's a shot. In off the bench is Fraser Lyle. Scotland are just 4 metres short. They're just going to stay patient. Super defence and tackle comes on from Australia. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Oh, they got the hand for real, but this is Robertson. Robertson spins and burrows. Advantage being played. And a yellow card. Well, do they have a shot at 3 points?
Not behind the high
Yeah, they do. And they say there's a Captain Jenkins who never got behind the homer's feet, and so you shoot for goal and take the points.
So Colin Gregor will take the 3 points on offer here. Not a place kick, remember. Scotland last won 19 points to 7 in Glasgow back in May last year. Well, he's done it again, and Scotland's most experienced player, Colin Gregor, rubbed salt into the Australians' wounds. That's a second loss for Australia. And Scotland, back in this group, win the game by 15 points to 14.
The final score is Australia 14 and Scotland 17. The winning team